Hi, today we're going to be going over simple vendor onboarding. So through this process, we're going to use a Laserfiche electronic form to capture vendor information, vendor documents. We're ultimately going to have that routed for approval, so the other side of the operation. And then we're going to go through and have automated correspondence, and then ultimately a vendor portal so people can update information, access their documents, and securely correspond through Laserfiche ECM. All right, let's get into it. So you can see here that we have a mock-up website, Widgetech, that can use all of your aesthetics of the company that you would like to have, and we can make this fit directly into any website because this is a web form. One of the advantages of having a web form. So let's go through and apply. We can see here that we have a really nice, clean, slick e-form to be able to use. Use a vendor name, ABC Inc. You can also see here that we have something called Tooltips that will allow us to be able to see just basic information, how we should fill out things. Of course, phone number is pretty easy, low-hanging fruit, but if it was a more complex field that we need to fill out, we could certainly have that available. We also have our required fields and our red asterisks. And then we have multi-choice fields to be able to go through and select all of the reasons why they're contacting us, because some people, could be a contact us form, could be a vendor onboarding form. They could just need certain information on, hey, where do I upload my invoices? And you want to be able to use these dynamic forms. So obviously we're in the technology field. And then we have some radio buttons that allow us to select whether or not we're a direct seller or distributor. We also have dynamic fields, which allow us to be able to add fields for document upload. So I'm going to upload a business license, insurance, and a W-9. You can see here that we have really quick and easy selection process. People don't have to type things in. They can just go through and select it using their mouse. Upload our documents. And also with City's digital antivirus protection integration, you can go through and have all of this document upload protected to make sure that all of those files coming through are all clean. So I'm going to go through and submit this. When I submit it, a couple things are going to happen. So it's going to allow me to return to the inbox. So that would be in an instance where I'm submitting this form internally. So if I just wanted to jump over to an inbox because I had done a task internally, like say contract submission or one of the other many uses for Laserfiche forms, I could do that. Of course, if I was just a vendor, I wouldn't have this option. I could also go ahead and download the form that I filled out for my information purposes. Now, a couple of things have happened. So now that I have submitted my form, I should be receiving an email in vendors and incoming. There should be a file automatically created with naming conventions automatically applied. So ABC Inc. You can see here both the form submissions. You can also see all the supporting documentation that's come in with this demo. So you can see that the naming conventions, ABC Inc., business license have already been applied. Those fields have already been applied. So I don't have to go through and manually enter these things. Now you want to circumvent that as much as possible with Laserfiche forms. When and if at all possible, you want to get the information right the first time and reuse it over and over and over. We'll go back to our forms inbox, and you can see here that I can see all of the outstanding operations that I have to do as an administrator on the other side. So I'm going to go through and review this application. Over here to the right, we can see the full action history of everything that's happened. So when it was submitted, how it was submitted, by who it was submitted. I can go through and review the form itself, leave comments and details, request for corrections, and actually view all the documents themselves. So I can see them just in real time. I don't need to snap back over to my other screen at all. At this point, I could also go through and request an NDA. This is a bit more of a lengthy process that actually includes contract creation, so I'll go over that in a separate demo itself. Or you can always request a direct demo, and I'd be happy to show it to you. I'll leave my comments. One thing I also wanted to point out is that you're going to receive email notifications the whole time along. So if I go through and open up my Outlook application, you'll see that I should receive a couple emails. There we go. So I have a vendor packet ready. I can go through and view that task in forms. And I can also see some very basic information just as a summarized view of what this person is applying for. So it makes it really, really quick and easy. Another thing I could also add in here is just, basic phone number or email. So I can go through and contact that vendor right away to make sure that I'm making any corrections or say, hey, you've applied for completely the wrong thing, and make it easy on everyone. So again, direct links back to tasks and forms. You also have the ability to approve or deny tasks directly within forms too, if it's just an approve or deny task. Another thing I want you all to notice is that as I go through this onboarding process, you'll see that ABC Inc. has now moved on to the under review process. So that's really common within Laserfiche. We want to have this this kind of successional workflow process. So incoming, under review, and then ultimately if they've been approved. So again, now I'm not only that initial vendor manager, let's say I'm a CEO or C-level staff, V-level staff, VP level staff. I can go through, view the documents once again, right there, quickly and easy. So just iframed into my web form. I can see that they've submitted all the appropriate documents, see any additional details. Okay, great. So I can see that this is the owner of the company, gives a little more clout to it. All right. And we'll put CEO approved. Okay. So now that we can see that workflow has gone through and, hey, ABC Inc., we're pleased to work with you. For your reference, your vendor ID is 123456, very secure. You can, of course, have it randomize any numbers that you would like. And you can see that Laserfiche also filled out a form fill document for us. So giving ABC Inc. the whole rundown on their purchase orders, payment procedures, who they need to email and when they need to email them. And you can see here that internally, so ABC Inc. was recently approved. You can view all the documents here. And this will link us directly over to all the documents. And you can see ABC Inc. under approved. All of our documentation is filled out correctly and filed correctly. And then another thing that I can do is I can also go through, and now that I'm actually a vendor, so if I want to go through and update vendor information, so I can see my vendor ID is 123456, and my phone number was 555-555-5555. That'll search the vendor, bring up my information, and that way I can say, oh, hey, I didn't realize that we put in a street address, 123 Apple Lane. And this could also be used to be able to go through and upload new documents, do correspondence, all sorts of things. Okay. So we can see here that my information has been updated in the system. So that way I don't have to call anybody. I don't have to badger anybody about, hey, this is my new information. It's not lost in an email. I can go through and update that right away. Also, this is going to write to your SQL table on the back end. And so that way I'm able to use that information over and over and over again. Another really great feature of Laserfiche is that you have the metrics portion of it. So now I can go through and see from an administrative level, how many vendors did we onboard in the last 100 days? Were they on time? When are they due? Are they overdue? What was the step that it was most stuck on? Was it on the manager review? Was it on the validation portion of it? And then what one of our employees, is there a bottleneck somewhere? How do I free up this information? There's a lot of metrics utilities out there that work very, very well, but having it a part of your Laserfiche system automatically is something that's very nice. So that concludes the vendor management demo. We're going to be putting out a series of these demos, so stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.